I will present you the updates on the OBF Factory and OBF Passport development. It's something that we did. I do 2-3 times a year to keep you informed about our development, because for us it's very important to inform our customers of what we are doing, but also because we work in a tight collaboration with you. It's good also to get feedbacks and to know if we are going in the right direction. So, as you know, we have 2 services: OBF Passport, with a place where badge owners can receive and share the badges, and we have OBF Factory, which is a platform where you can create, issue, and manage your badges. So, first of all, if we speak about our main topics in our development strategy, while they are still the same, so it's in one way it's nice to see that we have made it the right choice, and that we are of course going, we are trying to go in this direction. So first of all, as I said, we make a lot of development in collaboration with our customers. For OBF Passport, for example, we have several projects now which are partly funded by our customers or funded by several customers to develop new features in our open source free service, which is very nice. Second thing, it's we are still very much believing in badges for ecosystems, not only for your organization, but for the fact that people should be able to easily share badges, to work to co-create badges. So if we want an impact on our society, we have to think ecosystem, and it's very important in our strategy. For us, it's also very important to unlock the potential of badges for the owners and for the communities. So we are not thinking only about making a nice system for a platform, for organization, for issuing badges, digital credentials, and so on. We are very much thinking about the fact how the badges will be used by badge owners. It should be easier, it should be more in context, and people should be able really to make something, to use the badges and to get profit from the badges. That's why, if you think about the development of our both platforms, they are, of course, we synchronize this development, but we are pushing still very much on the OBF Passport, because we believe that it's a place where let's say networks are made visible, and where badges will get more and more sense and more value. One other important strategy is some organizations have now already a long experience about badging. It's not anymore about recognition, but there is a clear need for management. So you issue badges for employees, you issue badges for your staff, and so on. It's not enough to recognize. You need to know who has got the badges, when. You need to also understand if there is some gap between objectives and what is the situation now in the organization. So we are slowly but surely developing reports, all this kind of tracking tools for giving a good picture to organization of what is happening with the badges. And of course, we are improving the user experience all the time. It's always a bit difficult because we are, of course, developing new features all the time. So keeping the cake nice, it's always challenging, but we are going in this direction also. So what we have been doing in 2020, well, let's say nearly all what we have been promising last spring. So we have made this integration with the ESCO European competence framework, which has been, well, quite much used in some contexts by our customers. We have developed the PDF badges for giving 2 formats for the badge: traditional picture, metadata baked in a picture, PNG picture and SVG, and also at the pro level, the possibility to get the same badge in a PDF format. PDF format is very nice because you don't have to get your badge, the passport. The passport is, of course, Very interesting, very important for students, teachers, anyone who gets a lot of badges. But if you get only one badge after kind of with training for a customer or all this kind of stuff, the PDF badge is very convenient. You can put it on your computer and use it where you want and when you want. We have also developed basically for the needs of big project, better features for sharing badges. Now you can share with your partners not only badges, but you can share also badge applications, and what is important, badge application forms. Because sharing a badge, if you have a big badge, big form with a lot of text, when you have to rebuild the form the other side, it's always a lot of work. So, and you can also share badge applications as links and as copy. Links, it's when you want, as a badge application sharing organization, keep a control on how your badge application will be used. So the other side can't modify it. But as copies mean that they can be used as templates and modified by your partners. And we have made a lot of improvements. Sub-organizations are now easier to manage. You can group users and set up also different kind of rights, issuing and editing rights on the badges. It's at pro level, but it's because we have customers with who have a lot of members in their badging teams, and we want to avoid the problem that by accident someone could edit or erase the badge created by another user. So this has been also important. Now for OBP, for the passport, we have last spring released the badge creation tool. So anyone in Badge Passport can create his own badge internally into the passport, badge other users if you want. But the most important thing here is perhaps the selfie badge. And the selfie badge, which can be for some customers a bit problematic, because people think, okay, if everyone can create a badge, what is the value, what is the quality of the badge? It will be, I would say, we will have inflation of badges and bad quality. In fact, the need of selfie badges is related to the original message of Mozilla. So Mozilla, really I would say the mission of Mozilla was to make possible for anyone to be recognized for the skills we learn at work, at school, and so on. 70 to 95% of our skills comes from informal experiences. So if you see now how organizations are using badges, well, it's not critical, but I would say that most of the badges are matching badges. So meaning that I will have to apply for a badge, or I will get a badge if I match with the criteria predefined by the organization which is creating and issuing that badge, which is very relevant in, let's say, employability questions or whatever you want. You want to get people matching with a profile. So it's what you see now in many organizations. Let's say if I want to be recognized for my skill as a badge expert, I would say I have an expertise in badging. I will not find on the market any ready badge for recognizing my skills, you know. Or if I have some experience in some job which is very particular, I will not find on the market any badge for recognizing this experience. So it's very important with the selfie badge. What I can do, I will create first a badge saying I'm a badge expert, and of course I have to reflect on what does it mean to be a badge expert. So it's a very good reflective exercise, difficult one, because I have to think, okay, I've been leading the development of open badge platforms. I'm an expert. I can, you know, animate webinars. I can train people. I can be a consultant and so on. So first of all, I create this badge, which is a claim. I'm claiming something. But here, the most important thing with the selfie badge, that it has no value if I don't get any validation. And the validation, it's in Open Badge Passport with endorsements. So anyone who knows my skills can say, okay, Eric can really do that. So what is interesting with the selfie badges, they are not challenging traditional matching badges. They are completing badges. They are completing the whole set of badges. They are completing a badge strategy, and they are basically moving the recognition, which is traditionally a validation by the badge creator, to recognition, which is basically endorsement. Endorsement by peer, endorsement by the community. So I know that now from some people, selfie badge is not for now. Very good pedagogic tool. I really would think that schools should work with this tool for basically add this reflective learning in the process, and not only getting the badge as some kind of certificate. Okay, we have been developing external endorsements to be able to be endorsed by someone who has no account in Open Badge Passport. So we want to keep things open. We have made modification in the Explore, or improvement in the Explore section of Open Badge Passport, for being able to go faster, to see statistics on the badges, to be able to see who has got the badge, to endorse people quite quickly, and to see evidences placed on the badges. We have developed spaces, I will show you, which is not already in use for everyone, but I will show it today. We are launching the mobile application, and we have been all the time doing a deeper integration between OBP and OBF. I will explain you what it will bring in the future. Okay, so we could start by the spaces. And about spaces, so as you see here, if you go to Explore, you could see in spaces, in the section spaces, spaces which are basically what they are. They are a bit like Facebook groups. So they are, it's answering to the need of customers who say, okay, we have dedicated passports, so you can set up your own passport for your own network of schools, or network, local network or national network, or whatever you want. We have for humanitarian, we have for region in France, we have school network in Netherlands, and so on. But in many cases, you can have a need for a small project, or for a project, or for a small network, and you don't have the resources, the money for getting your own dedicated passport, or getting the dedicated passport is not perhaps always a good solution if you want to have your community, if you want to keep your community in the big community of Open Badge Passport, which is a global community. We have now more than 100,000 users and hundreds of thousands of badges, so it's an important place also. So how this system works, I will show you in live here. So now I'm in Open Badge Passport. I'm logged in as my colleague, the customer, so CIBC of Normandy, and then Jean-Marie. He is the first space admin in Open Badge Passport. So they are basically piloting this feature, and this feature will be launched as a commercial service. I would say in January, end of January, beginning of February, so quite soon. How does it work? So Eden, as a space admin, first of all, can see the statistic on his community. So how many users, how members are in the community, number of badges related to these members, number of pages, number of issuers related to the badges earned by the member of the community, and the selfie badges here. Here he has a view of, what are the platforms, from what platform are coming the badges, the badge status, if they are accepted or declined, user profiles, if they are public or not. Here you can straight away see that people are not easily putting the badge public, so perhaps it's a good way to remind the members of the community of this project, for example, okay, by the way, guys, could you put your badge publics, you know? The badge visibility, sorry, there were the profiles here. The badge visibility is quite good. And the page visibility, as you see, people keep their CVs. Pages are basically CVs. Perhaps nearly all for themselves. So if you click here, you see that 23, and here you have the private. So here there is the social media shares. Well, this is a new feature here, so there is no data yet. So that's why it's not showing any numbers. Here you can see how your community is growing, the number of badges, the number of pages, and the number of issuers. And here you can see the correlation between the number of badges and the number of users. So here it's interesting to follow that, how this will evolve during the project. This is a new space, so it's just very, very, very new what's happening here. So as I say, it's interesting to see the evolution and what kind of action the managers can have. So the other thing, it's okay, you can see the members of your space, and you can manage it. So the spaces are validate for, oh, sorry, a validating date or expiration date. This one is active, and you can have different kind of spaces. So there is this private space, meaning that this space will not be seen in OpenBash Passport Explore section. The member will come only by invitation. And here there is a link for inviting the members straight in this space. There are control space, which mean that they are basically, click here, visible for users, so they can apply to this space, but it will be only after acceptation of the space admins or admin. And there is an open space, which is everyone could join this space. Okay, and put it private because they don't want to have extra users. Now, what is interesting also is there is a message tool, so you can define a badge here. Let's say, for example, let's have a look on badge OBF trainer. I think it's this one. Yeah. No. Sorry. I think I lost something here. But, yeah, let's see, it was on the. Okay, so there is no recipient here, but so I will try again. So I can add a badge and then communicate with the person who have got this badge. Let's try this one. I think this one has. Yeah. So just to give you an idea of how it works. Continue. No, not this one. So this one, you see that there is one person here. And then to explain you why there is only one person, that there were several people having this badge, that every user can choose if he wants to get notifications from his badge. So the RGPD, GDPR, it's very important. So when you get a badge, you just have to say, okay, I accept notification from this badge or not. So now, it's a job of the administrator to say, okay, guys, if you want to get messages, please put your badges, put the notification on your badges. And then here I could send a message, and then the message leave. If the user wants to get it by email, he will receive it by email. If you want to get it as a notification in the passport, it will come as a notification in the passport. Okay, and then there is reports, and then in reports, the good thing that you can have, you can choose badges, several badges, and get information on your community. For example, preview it. You see I'm here, well, by accident, and you can see the badge that I have in this about this badge, accepted, public, when it has been issued, and so on. So you could see if there would be some other users having the same badge than me. For example, let's say this one, perhaps, yeah, this one could be the Epic badge. Continue, and then you can see, you can preview, well, there is this guy here, and then I can see the badge and the information. But now you can also have several badges and make reports for. You can also add users. So it goes a bit in the other way, and you could see, for example, let's say me, continue, and you can see preview, and you see my number of badge, my profile completion, and so on. So we'll be developing these features, but the idea is that you get some information about what is happening in your community. Well, how does it look in practice? Okay, if you go to Explore, so if you are a member of a space, you can switch to one space to another one, or you can switch to, you see, Activeur de Potentiel, which is the name of the project. Here I can switch back to OpenBadge Passport. Now, if I am back to OpenBadge Passport, I will see for France all the badges which are now published in the French side of the passport. I can see the map, I can see profiles, all those things. Now the idea of the space is that people would not get lost in translation, if I make a joke, but they could basically have a clear view of their community. So now I am in my community. I see the people that I know. It would be easier for me to see the profile and to endorse the badges, to congratulate them, and so on. So it's the same for the badges here. You can see that there is a limitation of the number of badges. Profiles are members. You see the map. This is a project of Normandy. You can see that people are here in Normandy, and yeah, here you have spaces. If you would have all the possibility to join other spaces, they would be here. Now, if you go to the first page, oh sorry, it's in yes, it's in French. Yeah, so I will move it to English. Sorry, I didn't notice that. So if I go to the first page, you see that here I see my dashboard from my space point of view, and that Activeur de Potentiel is my current space. My default space is this one. So here you can set up what is your default space when you go on the system. So the beauty of this approach is that you basically can have a filter view of your community. In the future, we will add interested other services. So the idea is in OpenBadge Passport until now, all have been basically based on individual approach. So people get the badge, they go there, they share the badges, and so on. But the view is individual view. And now we introduce the possibility for organizations to have their own view and their own communities in the passport. And this will also make possible to add services or tools, which are basically this kind of tools that you don't want to spread everywhere in the interface, but just to keep for administrators, okay? And then to keep the look and feel of the system clean. What kind of system we will add? well, I have a lot of ideas, but let's say that this one, for example, we are working at the moment with with the CIBC of Normandy that you have seen here. They are developing for the passport an editor for creating a map, a pathway for making visible different kind of learning pathways. So like a metro map, the idea here that you can pick from the passport badges which have been published in the passport. So it's not only picking your own badges in Open Badge Factory, you know, it would be like a meta badge. But here I can pick badges from the University of Oulu, badges from the University of Westminster, and so on, and create this kind of map that you can assign to different users, or that users will be able to find in a you know, earn a badge. They will be also basically join a map, and then the idea is by clicking the different station, you will see the badges which are related to the station, what you should do for getting the badge, and you will have also a geolocalization of the badges. So you will see that this badge is from Utrecht, for example, in Netherlands, or this one is basically Le Dôme from Caen in Normandy, and so on. So it will be very interesting, and as you see, it will be on the space here, and you have, after report, you have this basically create a space, so create a map. The map editor will be here. So in the future, it will be also possible to connect Open Badge Passport and Open Badge Factory in a way that, for example, in a space, you could, in the name of your organization, issue badges which have been created in Open Badge Factory. So if you are in a school, you are teachers, you are using the passport, you perhaps don't have access to Open Badge Factory, which is a place where the badge experts are creating the badges, but you will be able to pick badges from Open Badge Factory and to issue these badges for your community. So it's a kind of missing link. Now we have in Open Badge Factory the creation place, not the factory, basically, but here it will be that, okay, I don't want to create badges, but I can issue the badges which have been shared with me with a plugin. Very good. So secondly, important, new important feature, which is basically really near to be launched. We have been filling all information already in the Google Play. So it will take perhaps a few days that they accept it, but we are very near to launch it. It will be in for two systems, for Android and iOS also. So for iPhone also. iPhone, it could be that it can take a bit more to be accepted. You know, it's more let's say the policy of Apple. It's a bit more strict than Android. So why this app? Well, the idea is to really get your badge in your fingerprint. So in my opinion, what we have been seeing, that the passport has been growing all the time, but it's not really the place where young people want to go. You know, they don't want to open a computer and go there to see the badges in their computer. What people want to have badges in their context, in situations. You are outside, you do something, you get a badge. You know, I mean, you are with your peers and so on. So this app will open, in my opinion, very interesting new use cases around badges. So the first one, when I get a badge, it comes in as a push notification on my phone. So I know, oh, I've got a badge. Great. It comes straight on my phone. So then I can accept or decline the badge. And then you see what the view that you see here, it's the home view, and you see all the list of my badges in my phone. And then here you see small icons here. Is it a public badge or a private badge, and so on. So by clicking the icon, you can change the status of your badge very easily. Just click here and you can publish it. And then you have the badge. If I open this OBF trainer badge, you can see the button here. You have three other people have got this badge. So I can see straight away here who else has got this badge. I can see the congratulation. So who has congratulated me? I can see the evidence I've put on the badge. If it's a badge application, I've been putting some evidence. I will see here. It's here, and I can see the endorsement on the badge, or endorsement for the issuer of the badge. Both things will be seen here. And if I have been endorsed for this badge, of course, it will be seen here. So, sorry, I was going a bit too fast. So for endorsement, if I push the button endorsement, you see that this badge has been endorsed by these two organizations here. And if I would click here, this plus here, I can send an endorsement request. So I can select people. Here I don't show much users because for privacy questions. But I could click here, select the people I'm following or other people here, and put here, please could you endorse me for this badge. And here you have, if I click the button where you see the users who have got this badge, you can see that there is two persons here, because one has not put it as public. And here you can endorse, congratulate, show the badge, and show the profile. So it's very easy, very quick. Then we have at the top level, at the home level, there is this left side hamburger menu, or what to call it. When you click it, you can access to the page. I would say it's kind of setting page, or it's a page where you have different kind of features that you don't use all the time. Okay. So here there are spaces, settings, and logout. Spaces, you can see that there is two levels. There is this activator de potential space, and you can see that it's now I could click here and set up it as my default space. And you see that I am a member of the space, and you can see the member here. And then you have the Explorer. So when you go on here you can see the kind of, I don't know how you call it in English, but it's kind of small squares here. And this is the Explorer view of Open Badge Factory. What is interesting that you can easily see all, show all. You can click here for you can choose your space easily, and your country if you want. And here you can straight away click, for example, show me the badge I want to earn. So the badge applications are here. You just click here and you see your badge applications. If you go on the badge, if you find a badge, which is basically a badge earned by other earners, which is badge application, you will see also the badge application. So you will have straight away the possibility to apply for a badge from the factory. And you can see, of course, the show the selfie badges. Sorry. Here there is an example of a badge, which is, I think it's badge of Southampton University in England. So you open it normally in the gallery, and then you see that there is get this badge. Okay, this is a badge application. Interesting. Then you just click the box here, and you see what you have to do to apply for the badge, and you can click here from to the badge application. And well, badge application are very basically clean, in Open Badge Factory. We didn't put any HTML and anything, nice and beautiful. So it works very well in the app. That's a good thing. And you can apply easily from badges in your app. Now you could open another badge in Open Badge Passport and in the gallery, and you can see the same information than when you are in your My Badges side. Same people here, and you can endorse, congratulate, and so on. So it's symmetric. It's easy to understand how things work. Here you could endorse someone from here. So if I endorse, for example, maybe Lionel here. I just write the text and I click send and I can endorse it. So we have both features. We have requesting endorsements and we have also endorsing other people. For us, it was important to really have in Open Badge Passport app straight away the possibility to add evidence on my badges, to enrich badges, the possibility to have the social features, and of course endorsement is very important because we want that that the recognition is a community level recognition, not only a badge issuer level recognition. And here I have my contacts. So you can see here on the right corner down, you can see that there are the people I'm following, and then there is my followers here. So we changed the logic of the following features. Now it's like in Twitter, so you can follow someone. You don't need to have acceptation of the other person. Of course, you see that someone is following you. So if you don't want, you can click it up, out. But there is no need to say, okay, do you want to be my friend? It's very, like in LinkedIn, it can be a bit too heavy and complicated. And then here you see profiles. So it's very nice to show your profile to your relatives or friends and so on, to say, okay, look, my profile, see my badges here. So the idea now, they can really display your badges, in situations. Take your app with you and show just what you have got. I didn't show you the share function because it's a bit personal, because it's open all the stuff you have in your phone. So your connection with WhatsApp or email and so on, but you can what you can use in your phone for sharing information, basically pictures or whatever you want. You can share the badges just in the same way, which is very interesting, because you can, let's say you are a young student, for example, you have got a badge, while you will not put it straight away in LinkedIn, perhaps not. Perhaps you want to show your friend Pierre or John, hey, look what I've got. I have a new badge. You can put it in WhatsApp, basically, or Instagram or whatever you want. And there is the activity feed. The activity feed, it's basically telling you all the time if you have been congratulated, if you have got a new badge, if someone has endorsed you, and so on. Yes, so I'm sorry I've been quite quick because we have a lot of things here, but what next? So next, we will launch Spaces. It will be a service. There will be some fee on the service. I can't tell you exactly what will be the price, but nothing that could be a blocker. But the idea is to make possible for us to further develop the system, because the passport is free for everyone. So it will be a revenue for us to improve Spaces and improve the passport. And I think it will be a very valuable let's say solution for making the passport easier for communities and having, I would say, a greater value of the badge and a better interaction between the member of the community, because you are in your community and the things makes much more sense than to be in a place where there is 100,000 people. But still you can have access to the international big place. The metro map, I show you, we're working on it, and it will be a service, a part of the Spaces. I think we'll get some, first version in February, perhaps. We'll really use it with our customer. So there will be a pilot period with it, and we will develop Badge Connect. So Badge Connect is a part of the standard. It's the idea of getting the badges moving from one dedicated passport to one other one. So if you have an account in Open Badge Passport and you have an account in a dedicated passport, so you could basically get your badges, displayed in both passports. You don't have to move them physically, but they would be seen depending on what you are going, you would see the same badges. And then we of course will make further development with OBP mobile app. I have a lot of ideas of what we could do with. You know, it's an app. It's not only getting a badge in the app. It would be also a possibility to show badges in with geolocalization. So you have a GPS in your phone. So let's play with the idea that you could go in the place and see what badges you can earn here. So you go at the university in the library, and you can see, okay, you can apply for a badge. I know how to use the service of the library, and then you have to apply for the badge. Or you could go to a place where there is a fire security badge. So I don't know, I've been in this place, and there's been a course, and now I have this knowledge about fire. But it could be also that you could go, let's say, in the forest for biology teachers. And they could place some badge in some place. Okay, I've been learning about frogs. So a bit like the Pokemon Go idea, but based on badges, putting badges on situations. It's one. The other one that it's of course you could give a badge to someone just using your phone. So someone could come and scan a QR code from your phone. You know, teacher or anyone could say, okay, you are outside somewhere. Okay, you have got this badge, I give it to you. So you work in a shop, your boss recognizes that now you can do these things well, and so, okay, you just get the badge from your boss. And we're working with the French, with la Commu de l'Université Léonard de Vinci in Poitiers, and the boat network on developing some solution for users under 15 years. Or in many countries, there is this question of minors, how they could use this kind of system, so that the parent could say, okay, you can share your badge or you can't share your badge, have a control of the badge in the passport. About OBF, we are doing a lot of things which are not perhaps visible now, but we are working on reports, tracking, and visualization tools that are coming in the future. For, I call it OBF Enterprise. I've not been doing a big noise about it, but slowly at the pro level, you will see new features for getting more reports, exporting information to different HR systems, and so on. So we have customers working with us on this question. We'll make the PDF badges a bit more nice. The look and feel could be improved. One other interesting area is development of badge application. More assessment possibilities, for badge applications. Peer assessment could be a bit different what it is now. We could have a kind of quiz-based, batch application things, and all kind of ideas we have got from our customers. And of course, we are developing the API of Open Badge Factory to get a better integration with Open Badge Passport, meaning that you could, in Open Badge Passport, in the next, future very soon, for example, issuing badges from a space. So the idea is to have a very easy solution for end users. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry, a lot of speaking, and I've been quite quick, but now there is time for questions. Please stop to share. And if you have questions, or if you want to put it on the chat, or you can definitely use also, I can yeah.
Do you know if the features you are releasing, like the app, is that also available for the dedicated passport that we use?
It will be also for the dedicated passport, but not straight away. So there will be a piloting period for Open Badge Passport first, But then it will be possible to, yes, to go in the app, and you will see the other passport. So you just click the badgeable or whatever you want, and then your users will have the data, the passport, dedicated passport.
Yeah, and that's same for the spaces, I think.
The space features is also for all dedicated passport. So our policy is to, because we have a lot of, I would say, collaboration with customers. We are working together on developing these features on the OpenBash passport. We release them for everyone also. So it's not only for some dedicated passport or only for OpenBash passport. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Looks good.
Other questions? Do you see some potential, or any comments or any wishes? Dangerous question. Any wish, suggestions?
No, I think the mobile feature gives a lot of new possibilities. Like you say, for instance, we talked about, I think about a year ago, we talked about our Learning City project. Well, that's going to give some new possibilities if we can really, like the example you gave about if you go to the library and you know how to use the library system, you get a badge, and all those kind of new features will be very interesting for our project. So looking forward to see them.
I hope that we get it very quickly out. I just today was a bit fighting with the Google, the Google system, just to get all the information that they need, all the screenshot and so on. So we are very near the end. The app, I am very happy because it's working very well. So we have been there have been some beta tester, and the feedback has been great. And there is no challenge with bugs or this kind of thing. So it's working very nicely. I would have liked to present it live to you, but the problem is I have a Mac and I really don't know how to do it with Zoom here. So I think it's better not to try to push my luck too much. So with the technology, you never know what happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
There is a question from Don asking about, I'm speaking about young people under 15. Well, it can be under 16 or it can be under 50. So basically, the idea is to find, say, first of all, a methodology or a system to have a control by another person. So that it will be accounts controlled by other accounts. We don't know yet what will be the final solution, but I think that it will be a solution that can be used in different countries. So that's the goal. And why it's basically has been always an important question for OpenBash Passport. By creating a dedicated passport, you can avoid the problem we had in the States. A good pilot with a school. Basically, that they could access only. You could access only with the email addresses of the school. So it was, and then the policy was that they could not share anything. So all was inside the passport. But I think it should be controlled by parents. So basically, the parents can have access to the kid's account and then define, okay, my kid can do and that and that and that. And okay, and then when the kid is 15 or 16 or whatever you want, then the system just free him or her, and they can do then what they want. Other questions? Comments or?
There's not a question in the chat, I think.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah, basically we have already that. So West Timothy is basically showing now that you can have badge applications, for example, apply for a badge, so it's the first step. And then in Open Badge Passport, you can have your badge enriched with new evidence and then endorsed. So it could be made more formal, of course, in Open Badge Factory, if we want, but it works quite well already in Open Badge Passport. So if you understand what I mean, so there is a first level recognition, and then there is peer recognition or endorsement-based recognition in the passport. We could do also for when we're speaking about the HR context, we could have the multi-level validation things that you get validated first by Martin, and then you get validated by Eric, and then you get validated by John, and then you get the badge. That's what I was saying with this improvement of badge applications. So there are different kind of flows, different kind of processes that can be supported with badge application. Now the question is to be careful not to go too formal. I think that if we make things too formal, and people will say, okay, yeah, it was the schema, it was a model that we had 2 years ago, but now we are not working anymore the same logic. So you know what I mean. So the passport will give more flexibility. I hope that I answered your question, Timothy. Don had a question. Are there plans for adding other form of ID for badges as mobile could be good for mobile passport and so on? Well, we're thinking about that. There could be, for example, I think that the phone number is not a good ID, for example. So I can't give you any technical answer about that. So for the moment, we work on with email and according to the standard. But there will be some solution, you know, and perhaps this mobile app will give the possibility to verify users in a different way. There are national system, identification system in different countries. They are all a bit different. So it's something could be a service, basically. It could be adapted. So and it's perhaps more dedicated passport than a solution. So basically you could have to use the official system to get in the system, then you are recognized and you could perhaps use an ID or something else. But with the GDPR, I would be very careful, because if you have any sensitive information, and if by accident it's, you know, there is a breach somewhere, it's a big problem. Now there is no sensitive data in Open Badge Passport, in Open Badge Factory. Okay, we have still time. I have to be in France in 15 minutes. It's not. It's good now because I have to be in France in 15 minutes, but I don't have to fly, so it's very quick. Very happy not to be anymore in airports and so on. Well, the idea of the Badge Connect down, it's of course when we basically integrate it or make the integration of Open Badge Passport. It's not only between the passports; it's between any backpack. The Badge Connect ID. So it's it will not be only for the passport, but it can be connected also with Badger backpack and other systems. You can use your microphone also if you want. It's
Okay, thanks. It's just I'm asking on behalf of HPAS really, because they'll have badges they want to be collecting from various places.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll discuss with people from Moodle. I think it will be next week to see what they've been doing in the Moodle side with Badge Connect, to see if we can have kind of straight integration with Passport, for example, and so on.
Okay, that'll be good for another project. Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah. Good. Any questions? Comment or suggestions?
I was asking about the Metro map. Can you just talk a bit more about how institutions or an issuer can work from the passport end using the Metro map? So I have an implementation. I'll turn my video on just a sec. It looks kind of strange. Maybe I won't. So we have on HPAS, for example, we have an organization that is an issuer, but it's also got a badge shared as a link from another issuer. So it's able to recognize that badge and build a badge pathway, a milestone pathway. And it's not, it works, but we have a gentleman's agreement that they're not actually going to issue the badge. They're just recognizing the badge on their badge pathway. So this Metro map, can you just talk a little bit more about how the permissions would work, and whether is it just for issuers who are on OBF, or is it also for institutions that might, organizations that might just have spaces and maybe not an OBF account? How will that work?
Basically, you will have to have an OBF account, because the badges that you can connect to your map. So the idea that your space, you will be able to create a new map, okay, and then you create the path with nodes, which are stations. And when you click to a station, you are able to link to the station a badge, a meta badge, or several badges which have been announced, or in French, announced, sorry, published into the passport. So basically, in this case, there will be, if you speak about HPAS, there will be HPAS members who have published the badges in the Earn a Badge section in HPAS. And then in HPAS, someone will be able to basically build the pathways. The big idea between this project is that it should not be only the badges have been created, but it's the badges of the community. So it's for serving, at the area level, different kind of professional development strategies that people are working, different organizations are working together. Then they put their badges, in the passport, and then they can basically make this kind of build this kind of pathways and maps and make it visible.
Okay, so for the example I'm thinking of in HPAS, the organization that's recognizing the Safeguarding Essentials badges in its pathway, it won't be able to issue that badge, but it will be able to recognize that badge in a pathway that leads to a milestone, for example. Correct?
Yeah, it's a possibility. Yeah, it's a possibility.
Okay, that's cool.
And there will be also the possibility to add to the badge localization metadata, so that you see, okay, this badge, it's a badge from this organization in Amsterdam, and you can go, you can get it if you go to Amsterdam to this school. So okay. Some of the badges are not only, there will be of course badge applications, that's true, but it could be a badge which also not a badge application, but to see that this badge can be earned in this organization. So the idea is to have a map also, or a visualization that this badge can be earned here, and so on.
But all the badges have been advertised. That's why they're available for
that. We shared in one place. That the only way that we can see these badges, because most of the badges are batch applications, basically. So perhaps we can find a way to expand this logic. I don't know yet. I've been thinking about that. Now our priority is to get the map editor ready, to get the geolocalization information displayed by OpenBatch Factory. In the OpenBatch Factory side, that when you issue a badge, that you would have the possibility to put your address or your coordinates there. And then in OpenBatch Passport, this information will appear when you click and open the map. And the other things, of course, is to have the possibility to follow what's happening with your map. So at the beginning, it will be okay. You can see that we have 125 people have been using this map. And let's say that 10 of them have got all the stations, and only, let's say, half are in the middle, and so on. So it will be there will be also a tracking tool. And perhaps in the future, the learners will have the possibility to build their own maps also if they want. So it's something which is not yet here, but in further development. Yes, and there will be possibility to assign the map to someone. That's why it's in the space. Basically, in the space you can see your members and say, okay, guys, this is the pathway that I propose. But the idea of the CBS of Normandy is that, okay, you have a map. You don't have to do all the stations. You can choose your path here. You can go from beginning the red line, but then you can turn and go on the blue one, and you will see when you click the last station, it could be a meta badge, or it could be just a text telling you what you have to do for achieving this goal. Yeah. So it's quite interesting and a bit complex, but well, let's say that it's and there will be you will be able to share also your map. So let's say that now I can share my badge. So I got a badge, I put it public, it's in the gallery, but Eric could basically join a map, or sign to a map, if I could say it this way. So I'm starting with a pathway, my goals, okay? And then I could put it public. So people would say, okay, Eric is still here, it's progressing. And then perhaps Don could open the badges I've already got and perhaps endorse me for the badges, or perhaps at the end for the map. So it could be. So here is where going in the direction of setting goals in OpenBatch Passport. We nearly did it with the meta badge. As you know, you can see the milestone badges also in the passport, but it was a bit, we had not enough time to do it properly, because my idea was that it should be my goals. So my goals, what it is, I just pick the badges I want, I put them in my goals, and I could write something. Okay, I want to achieve this task and get this badge before Christmas. But it could be also that someone assigns some goals to me and say, Eric should get this badge before Christmas, and that's why. Okay. So I think that it will be an interesting new thing with the map. It will be possibility to define goals. So it's like a recipe that can be provided, but you can maybe build your own recipe also. Yeah. Yeah. So it will be the next stage, because at the beginning, I think that we will have to give some, it's a tool, so you have to learn how to build a metro map. Well, I think it's not very complicated, but it's in this French CB project, it's interesting because there is different shapes on the nodes. You could have a triangle, okay, and a triangle would mean an objective. You could have a round node and a square node, and when you progress and you get the badge, this got filled by colors. So you have achieved something that the map is basically gets colors. Okay. Wow. Okay. I think that we will have to explain that. Okay, triangle could be, and then you can define. Everyone should define what is the meaning of triangle, or. Okay. Or if you just want to keep it simple. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, perhaps you don't have to define it, but. I have a question. I'm not sure we have time.
the spaces, and again, this is a question having to do with multiple organizations working together and sharing information. Right now with spaces in reports in the collective, you can get reports on all the badges that have been accepted to the passport. My question is, can that somehow also be combined with badges that have not been accepted but been issued from OBF for a more composite report that would tell you maybe people aren't accepting badges as much as they should, and we can work on that, that kind of thing?
Well, yeah, well, it's not something that we have been doing now, but it's something when I spoke about the development of the API of Open Badge Factory to have a stronger connection, deeper connection with the passport. That actually is this kind of information that we could get from Open Badge Factory. Right. So we could get from Open Badge Factory. This badge has been issued to 125 people. Good. And in Open Badge Passport, we have 85 people.
Right.
And so you would have a clue. That's why basically it's an interesting, important that in the future, the Open Badge Factory account will be quite related to the space.
Okay.
So as I say, you could issue a badge from the passport, even there in Open Badge Factory, where you could get also information. So there will be a kind of a key for connecting both things to make sure that in the passport you are really allowed, you have the permission to get this information, because this information is for badge issuers.
Okay, yeah, because I have a great use case in the US for that. That's
okay. Yeah, so I think we have a lot of things to do. I mean, it's always the same thing that you are doing. We are doing more things, innovation and so on, and then we always see, okay, this was nice, but next. But yeah. Well, it's why we do it. I mean, it's very interesting to see what kind of use case you will have, and definitely the evolution of Open Badge Factory, Open Badge Passport is based on the cases that you customers bring to us and say, okay, that's a nice feature, but well, we use it in this way. Could we do that in this way and so on? And that's why that's the way to give value to the tool. Yeah. Well, I think I'm very sorry, but I think I will have to leave you now, and I have to switch to French now. French teacher from the universities in Normandy. But please, if you have any question, you can send me an email, and I'm happy to hear suggestions and all comments also later. So let's stop this.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. Merci.
Thank you. Bye-bye.